Hey kids, it's Papa. We're up in Rankin Inlet, I believe, and uh, well, I'm not there right now. I'm actually in my basement, but we have finished the Old Testament. Okay, now the Old Testament is. Remember, we talked about the 5 books of the law, and then the 12 books of history, and then the 5 books of poetry, and the 5 major prophets, and the 12 books of the minor prophets. Okay, 5, 12, 5, 5, 12. And that's the Old Testament. Now, we talked about how in dispensations there was the age of innocence back there in the garden, and then there was the age of conscience, where after the fall they knew right from wrong. and and that and and you'd think they would do real well, but no, the age of conscience ended, and the Bible says that every imagination of man's heart was only evil continually. So God sent the flood, and Noah and his family were spared, and that started the age of human government. Surely, with laws and able our ability to govern, we could, hey, but we can live righteously for God. Well, that didn't work. And that ended at the Tower of Babel. And then started the age of promise, because God worked with one man, one family, one tribe, one nation, that of Israel. And you would think that would work, because surely just one group could do it. But no, that ended in failure in Egypt, in captivity. And then started the age of law, when Moses went and brought the children of Israel up out of the land of Egypt, and the age of law began as God gave the law. And Israel said, just tell us what we need to do and we will do it. Yeah, right. They did not. And so that was the age of law. Now, the age of law ends, we're not exactly sure when. Did it end at the birth of Christ? Did it end at the beginning of his ministry? Did it end at the death of Christ or the resurrection of Christ? Or did it end on the day of Pentecost? We're not exactly sure the exact date of when it ended. But the Bible says that Christ came not to defeat the law, but to fulfill the law. And so we know that it was sometime during the time of Christ that the age of law came to an end. Personally, let me tell you what I personally think. I think that it was when Christ died on the cross. And you remember that veil was torn from the top to the bottom, and and thus signifying that we no longer needed to go through a priest. We could go directly to God. And so that's when I think the age of law ended, and the age of grace began. And now we are living in the age of grace, the church age, as sometimes we call it. And so we've covered the Old Testament and those dispensations and everything. And Myra has covered the Gospels. And so, what would you like me to do? Your question for today is this. The question is, what do you want me to teach you next? Okay? Probably something out of the New Testament. Yeah, what would you like me to teach you? You want me to teach you one of the epistles? You want me to teach you the book of Revelation? You want me to teach you the book of Acts? What do you want me to teach? And so you let me know as the answer to your question. Can you do that for me? All right. Hey, I'm looking forward to it. Love you guys. See ya. Bye bye.